All right, I've already hugged you.
Hug. No hugs. Mr. Billy.
All right. That's
Hi, guys.
Enough. Let me make this official. Toronto, Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. Hello, Toronto.
How are y'all? It is awesome to be here. Many years in a row on behalf of Supernatural. I was actually, a little fun fact, 13 years ago.
Oh, do tell.
Today, gather round. I was here shooting the Oscar award-winning New York Minute.
What category did it win?
All of them.
Right.
They made a new category called Winner of Everything. Yeah, I remember getting the script and being like, sweet.
You got an Oscar for that.
7, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to brag about it, but...
Right. Female in the leading role? Is that the...
Yeah, they just threw them all at me.
All of them?
They just threw all of them.
I have a sound editing one. I don't even do that.
It's nice to be here with you guys. This is the last group of SPN family we'll see before season 12 premieres. So, with some pretty cool stuff coming down the pipe. Some fun episodes, some that we've, that if you told us what it was about several years ago or even this summer, we've been like, what? But it's cool, and I think we're excited to kind of have a last little morale boost with you guys before going back to work this week and premiering on Thursday. So without further ado, unless you want to do some more.
Hey, you're doing a great job of it, doing.
I do.
You do a do.
I do. Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Great, how are you?
My question is for both of you. If Cass were to enter your life sooner, maybe like when you guys were in high school or something, how do you think it would be different?
How about no? That's... we're...
Easy for you to say.
We're expecting twins. And we're throwing around trying to figure out names, and I actually threw a suggestion name at my daughter, JJ, who is 3, and I said, how about, and I said the name, and she just looked at me, she goes, how about no? Not a word of a lie. I didn't know how to respond to that. There was like pride and then like heartbreak all at the same time. If Cass had come into the Winchesters' lives earlier, I don't know. I mean, he didn't really need to, because we weren't necessarily dealing with the, war of heaven and hell yet. Demons weren't necessarily an issue. I mean, it was more vampires and werewolves and
he would have
things
been,
that go bump in the night, less the biblical war.
He would have been unnecessary, so really no different.
Yeah, really no different than it is now.
Thank you very much.
Superfluous comes to mind.
Maybe you and another trench coat.
Hi. I'm just wondering, what was your favorite thing to kill on Supernatural?
My future wife.
So much therapy right there.
So now, anytime we're in a disagreement, I'm always like, this is because I killed you, isn't it?
No, it needs to be, look, I killed you once already. Kidding.
Then 11 years from now.
So he doesn't take advice from me.
You didn't say that's a good Cody Bush or something, it would come out on video. That was fun because it was silly. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I would say vampires are fun, but it's actually the filming of it is not as fun because what you have the lopping of the head is kind of a real technical pain because you have to we have what's called a switcher, where they line up the image of where said vampire is standing. And then that person then has to step out. Then I come in with the machete and I swing through an empty frame. But they have it lined up to where so I have to look at a screen and make sure that my machete is lined up with what image they just kept. Anyway, it's technical. It's not nearly as fun as it looks on camera. I wish it did because that would be my favorite. But I don't know. What would be what's I will say that Wendigo was fun many, many years ago because we got to shoot a flare gun right into something behind the chest.
What was the flamethrowers? Remember?
Oh, Changelings.
Changelings, that was fun. The flamethrower, the
homemade flamethrower.
Yeah, the hairspray and the thing.
Well, that was bugs and that was bees, and that's still one of my favorite stories. It's like, don't worry, Ackles. They're docile bees. They're super calm. They're not gonna sting you unless provoked. And I'm like, okay, so just be real calm around them. Be calm around them, they're totally fine. Okay. All right, Jensen, ready for you on set. Props walks up. Here's the can of hairspray and the lighter that you'll be torching the bees with. Okay, hang on, because this guy just said unless provoked. They're not gonna. But if I'm torching them with fire, that's probably provoking them. And then it literally was, ooh. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi.
I was wondering, now that you both have families, is it hard to balance your career and your family life at the same time?
Yes.
Let's just say that it's very imbalanced.
Yeah, I think what's funny, I just had a talk with Chris about it, because he has 2 young kids as well. I think it's really nice to show the kids that I'm making sacrifices, I love to go home and play and watch little TV shows and play in the front yard and play with our chickens and go swimming and this and that. But we have chickens. We have chickens. One less than we're used to. Story for a different day.
It's great though, that means that I don't have to get chickens.
But it's nice, I think my kids are young, 4, almost 5 and almost 3. But I think it's important that they see now how difficult it can be. Because obviously, he and I have both been successful in this industry, and when you reach a certain degree, they treat you well and they pay you well, and we can afford some of the finer things. But it's nice, it feels good to know that my kids are seeing how much I work, how active I am, how much I have to sacrifice, so that they don't, and kids are kids, but I don't want them to ever think like, hey, this is just magical and it's there because it's there and it doesn't take any work. You can just have success without really sacrificing. So I think that's kind of a silver lining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey guys. So staying on the whole theme of family and everything, I was hoping each of you could share your favorite, most memorable parenting experience.
One that comes to my mind is when my daughter was younger. She was, I think, not even a year, and was still. We moved on to the bottle. She was bottle keeper, and we were at my in-laws' house, and I'd gone to the store to get some stuff. It was the holidays. I was coming back, and I came to the door, and JJ came kind of waddling up to me, and I was like, "Hey!" I picked her up, and I started bouncing her around my head. She had just been fed. So full bottle puke all over my face. I mean, direct hit. Like, she sunk my battleship. It was full on, and I just held, and I was like, help! And so my wife comes running in, and she's like, oh my gosh, don't move. Thinking like she's gonna, get me a towel because it's dripping. No, she ran to the other room to get her camera. So I'll have that for the rest of my life. But there are many, many, many more. That's certainly just one.
Yeah, I actually have the same experience. With
My daughter threw a ball over his face too. Which is
I was playing with the kids after dinner before nap time, before bath time and bedtime, and I was kind of throwing Tom. Tom likes to wrestle, and he threw up all over me. And I was laying down on my mattress, and Jen was there, and Shep was there, and I was holding Tom out, and he threw up, and I just held him. It was an interesting experience to have another human being throw up on you and to not be grossed out. And that sounds weird, but to be like, if I was like in the hallway and someone threw up 50 feet away, I'd be like, this was barf on me. And this wasn't child milky barf. This was like, had a quesadilla barf. So I just kind of stood there, and Jen went and got a towel.
a quesadilla barf.
We had had Maudie's. We had Maudie's, and Maudie's is a Mexican place. But I've actually had a different experience that Jensen hasn't been so lucky to have yet. I have boys, and every now and again, when they're laying on their changing table pad and they're young, and you can smell something's going on. Okay, it's time to change your baby diaper. And sometimes you un-Velcro the
He says it just like that
diaper,
too.
and you start to take the diaper off, and apparently there's a phenomenon where when a young boy's private part gets exposed to oxygen, they like to urinate. So I found myself as a father on a few occasions going like, oh God, and just putting. All right, time to wash hands. I'll come change your diaper in a second. But it's funny to not be. It's just matter of fact,
You
right?
need to get like one of those bomb squad things that has like a shield.
They sell PPTVs. They sell little. I'm sure there are people out there who have young boys who know this. Yeah, we have like PPTVs, and they're little like diaper style TVs for the baby. I'll let you borrow some.
I have my own, they're a little bigger.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I hope y'all didn't just eat.
Hi.
Hi.
Somebody out there's like, I just had a quesadilla.
So I was wondering, how much you guys like to fool around on set and all the gag reel footage we get?
What are you accusing yourself?
I was just wondering, what's the longest amount of time you spent trying to get through filming a single episode?
Well, we're only allowed 8 days per episode, but there's certainly a few scenes that have had to be kind of like walk away from and come back to. The hardest I ever left was Provenance. I think Provenance, I could not get my act back together.
No, and you were the only one laughing. No, that's not true. Taylor was laughing too. The two of you were
Giggle fest.
hysterical.
Yeah.
And I think this is with the gag reel. And then like shows me in the background just like, really?
There are a few times, every now and again something makes me laugh and it's not stopping. There was Shakespeare skin.
Friday night.
Friday night, yeah.
Which we shared with some of you this morning at the Gold Panel.
Jensen caught on fire and I found it funny. He didn't fully catch on fire.
What better opportunity to laugh at your friend when they're on fire?
His reaction was comical, and so I just started laughing. Couldn't really stop.
It wasn't comical.
For me, it was.
It was like survival mode.
Not for me, it was laugh mode.
So Misha in the scene, Cass has something he's got, it catches on fire, and Dean grabs a garbage can, and Cass then puts the the item that's on fire into the garbage can, and Dean pours a pitcher of water on it. Well, you don't really rehearse something like that. You just kind of do it because we have a thing where gags like that, it's like we say, you know what, let's just shoot the rehearsal in case we get lucky and it works. Because it'd be really crappy to actually have it go perfect in rehearsal and then it not go well during the take. So we just go ahead and rehearse while we're shooting. Basically, it's basically just shooting with no rehearsal. And the item that was on fire lodged itself against the wall of the trash can that my hand was holding, because it was, in theory, it was going, the flames were going to be coming up the other side of the trash can, which is I was going to hold it at an angle, and that would have worked fine. But and it was on fire a lot more than I had anticipated. So much so that the flames were on my hand, and like my hand was burning, and I was just supposed to act cool and like put it out, you know, with a pitcher of water and then set it down. But instead of me just walking up and, you know, boom, the flaming item goes into the can, and I do, and I set it down, it was more like, and just that, it was a lot more subtle than that. That's, I'm sure, what it looked like in Jared's mind. And he knows me so well that he knows that for just a second, I broke from Dean to Jensen going, oh crap, my hand's on fire. And that little split moment of character breakup, shoot, was just enough to send him over the edge. And I put the trash can down, and I come back, and I've still got dialogue, and so I'm still talking. And he's now standing next to me. The cameras are working this way. And he's now completely turned around and looking the other way. And I'm like, and I'm talking, but in my mind I'm thinking, what is he doing? Why is he looking behind? And then I'm like, oh crap, the trash can's probably now on fire. And it's directly behind me. And should I maybe be worried? Should I be turning around to see the flame ball that's happening? And then I kind of just throw a cursory glance over at him, and I can see that there's like tears coming down his face.
Streaming down.
And then I was just like, okay, now I know what he's doing. He's turning away from the camera because he's laughing so hard that his tears are coming down his face. And I guess in an effort not to ruin the scene, he was like, instead of just laughing hysterically on camera, he was just like, and so I finally stopped the take, and I'm like, dude, what? And he's like, with the. I'm like, yeah, my hand was on fire. He's like, I didn't know it was on fire.
It was pretty funny. Yeah. So that happens. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Paula. This is my daughter, Kaylee.
Hi.
We started watching the show last year because she's a little young, and we watched 11 seasons in 1 year. This is our first convention, and it's amazing. I'm a little starstruck a couple times. We want to know, is there any actors or performers that make you starstruck? That make you
Yeah, really quick question. Anybody else start watching the show within a year? No way. Wow. Super cool. Someone's like, hey. Very cool. Honestly, anybody watching it in a year? Yeah.
You certainly hit him, and I think some people have heard some stories about when I've literally had to pull him away from making it just a complete ass of himself. So
That's me. That's me.
That'd be this guy right here. However, my reaction or my go-to action would be just to run. If I see somebody that is, uber famous, or somebody that I admire their work or am a fan of in some regard, then I generally will just about face and leave the situation. And for two reasons. One, I don't know how I'm going to handle myself, and I don't want that to go wrong, so I just figure avoid it. And two, I don't know how they're going to handle themselves, and if they're a jerk, then that's going to ruin the way that I think about them and their work, or whether it's their music or their acting or whatever it is. And I kind of, in an effort to preserve both of those things, I just avoid at all costs. I'm not saying you guys should do that, because I love having you here, and it's amazing. But that's a bit of a default reaction for me.
I don't get that way with actors because they feel like my peers, you know? Like I've worked with some amazing actors and actresses, and part of me feels like, and Jensen. Part of me feels like, that's cool, like with enough hard work and enough dedication, I could be like that one day, or you know, I feel like it's attainable. But with musicians, I think I get like that, like pretty infamously when I met some of the Cult Camp. Nerded out just a little bit, and then afterwards, it's like, I didn't know I'd react like that. Yeah.
I always hoped I wouldn't react.
I always hoped I wouldn't act like that. But yeah, but welcome, guys. Thanks for taking the journey with us.
Yeah, it's great to have you all here.
Thank you. We came to see you tonight.
Very cool. We like movies. Cheers, guys.
Hey there.
Hi. Sorry if I sound really jumbled up because I'm really nervous right now.
You don't sound like it.
Well, I am.
Fine, I believe you. Jeez.
I was wondering, this is for both of you, if there was only one similarity that you think is the most similar between you and your character, what do you think it is and why?
The hair. I am a researcher. Jared very much wants to know everything about what he is doing, as Sam does. You know, like Sam, when they found the middle letters bunker, and there was a library full of books, Sam was like, this is amazing. I can learn everything about everything that's ever had to do with anything that has ever had to do with the supernatural. Jared's kind of like that. Like if I get into something, I can't read enough about it, I can't watch enough YouTube videos about it, or talk to friends about it or whatever. I really delve into subjects that I become passionate about, as does Sam. I don't know why, it's just the way I was wired. But yeah, that's probably the one that clicks in my head.
I could probably sit down and think of a few. I would say that one that comes to mind, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but I would say that
Awesomeness.
yes, awesomeness is something that I bring to that character because I have it in me. Thanks for that, Jared. I would say that, and maybe to a fault sometimes, but I tend to put others before myself a lot. And I think Dean does that quite a bit. I think he will gladly sacrifice himself for people, and he will think about them first. And I tend to do that sometimes to a fault, but yeah, that's one. And awesomeness. Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering what your favorite part of being able to film in Canada is, and what your favorite Canadianism is.
I will say that there's many great things. One of the great things is that I don't know if you've noticed, but the year-round wardrobe of Dean and Sam Winchester tend to be layered and with coats. I'm not sure that would really go well if we were shooting in Phoenix or in Austin or anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line. So I really appreciate the weather and the temperature in Vancouver because it keeps us comfortable. Otherwise, it would just be a mess. Favorite Canadianism? I think he and I both like using the term. We both adopted the term toque. Or at least not. I think you still say he. But yeah, I like the word toque. Is it something that's used widely here?
I chuckle at my favorite Canadianism, and it's one of those things that I enjoy it because I enjoy the pride or the excitement. But I laugh and do an impression sometimes, and it's like, there's a news flash, and it's breaking news. Ukraine was invaded by Russia. There are 15,000 MiG aircraft and F-16 en route to deploy. In other news, Matt Sundin came back to the Vancouver Canucks. And you're like, everything is hockey. Hockey, 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 hockey.
It would be like
World War III
this
declared.
This is what the Maple Leafs had for breakfast this morning, and they'll spend a half an hour talking about it, and at the very end it'll be like, and also the world is about to die.
Also, the world is at war. Now for a commercial break. Kim Jong-un sending nuclear warheads to the 5 major cities in the U.S. and Canada. Anyways, on to hockey.
Back to hockey.
The other day, I think there was
Love y'all's hockey.